As we all know, when it comes to riding, confidence is absolute key. But when it comes to eventing, it is paramount towards the performance and safety, and most importantly, enjoyment of our horses and riders. In this mini-series, we're going to look at, myself as a coach, the systematic things you could do with your horse and your rider to create confidence before you go eventing. And we've got the brilliant sports psychologist Sally joining us later on in the series to look at how you can practice being confident as much as you practice your riding. Now, I'm going to be joined on this mini-series with Gareth, who you might recognise from Brilliant All Stars. Now, Gareth, you've always been a super confident rider, but you've barely been riding long at all, have you?
No, I haven't. So it would be 3 years I've been riding. And I'm here to spread a bit of positivity and motivation all the way round. And I have been taught by you now for 2.5 years.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for anybody who's watching at home. We will certainly find out. But I think what's going to be really interesting, speaking to Sally later on in the series, is you've always been a confident person. You've taken that through to your riding from day one.
I think I've trusted in you. I've trusted in the process. And it's nice to share with these guys how I've done it. I think that's probably going to be the most unique bit that I can do.
Now, for our day today, we're here down in the best county in the whole of country, Devon, at beautiful Bicton College, and we've got two fantastic riders who have been very open about sharing how they've been a little bit nervous on their eventing journey, but are pushing through to become the best versions they can for their horses. So let's go meet our riders.
Set your sights, take flight, find your soul, reach your goal. You've got confidence. Step by step, no sweat, reach the stars, it's not hard. With your confidence. Confidence.
So joining us today, we've got lovely Caroline and Beth, riders that I have the pleasure of seeing on a semi-frequent basis. But for those guys at home that don't know you, Caroline, tell us a little bit about yourself and your lovely horse.
Yeah, this is Flynn. We compete B100, hoping to step up to novice this year. I've owned him for 1.5 years. He's 11. He's very brave cross-country, but we're just sort of honing our partnership down, and the show jumping's our weakest phase, I would say.
And that's probably the phase that most event riders, I would argue, get very nervous for, the ones that actually fall down. So that's why we've been trying to build the confidence through the winter so that you and him come out flying this year to jump around some 2-stars. Yep, agreed, yeah. Good. Cool, and Beth, tell everyone at home a little bit about yourself and your lovely horse.
So I'm Beth and this is Pepsi. He's 11. We compete at B90 at the moment. We did our first full season of 90 last year. We're hoping to maybe do 100 this year. Our weakest phase is probably the dressage, but I get very nervous for the cross country, so I sometimes let him down. He's got a big jump, but my riding is maybe not always where we want it to be.
Brilliant. But I think where you two are going to be great examples today is you're both riders who are riding at a good level. You're lovely riders, but you both suffer from nerves in different ways, as we've discussed earlier. So as we're going to go through in this mini-series, we're going to have different exercises that I feel as a coach that if we can nail each one in the order that we do, we're hopefully going to have you two both flying around 1 stars later in the year and 2 stars later in the year. And you guys at home will also be doing that level as well, I promise. Cool. Right. So let's get started on our first exercise. So for me, first thing we work on when we want to have confidence to go eventing is the canter, yeah, because the canter is the basis of everything. Now, scales of training for the dressage. Beth, what are our first 3 scales of training?
I can't remember.
I'll put you on
Rhythm, balance, rhythm, straightness.
God, we haven't gone over these clearly enough recently. Caroline?
Oh, God.
I put you girls on the spot right now.
You have, they're on the wall over there.
They're on the wall over there, totally. So rhythm, another S.
Straightness.
Suppleness, and then the third one being contact, okay? So for me, we go back to the flat work on the canter, which gives us the confidence to come to a fence, okay? So what we're going to be working on is adjustability in the canter, and then the canter size we need to go jumping, okay? So you've both had a good warm-up already, haven't you?
Yeah.
Fab. Then what I'm going to do, to start with, we're going to play an exercise in the canter of 5, 5, 5, 5. Now that sounds very like loads of numbers and very complicated, but what it's going to be is 5 strides of working canter, 5 strides into medium canter, 5 strides back to working canter, 5 strides to collected canter, then back to working, back to medium, back to working, back to collected, okay? So we're always just going back to working before going up or down from that again, okay? Now, that sounds obviously very easy to you two brilliant riders, but what I want to see at the end of each of those 5 is that you can release the inside rein on the circle and the horse stays nice and soft, okay? So you're working on this adjustability in the canter, but you have a soft horse whilst doing it, okay? So why don't we have both of you just have a bit of a trot and canter round again, just so you re-warmed them up, and then we'll have you one at a time on a circle in the middle looking at that exercise. Sound good?
Yep, good.
Fab. So I think you might agree, girls, but one of the things that creates perhaps some of the most nerves when jumping is the fear of being on the wrong stride, yes, and the fear of perhaps them stopping if we're on the wrong stride, okay? So what part of their body physically enables them to shorten or lengthen into a fence?
Hind
The
end.
quarters.
So you both said hind end. The hind end is very important, but physically it is the spine, okay? It's the spine being open that enables them to rock back with the weight or rock forward for a slightly bigger stride, okay?
Right.
So it's our job as riders when we're developing a good jumping canter to make sure they're engaging what part of their body to open the spine?
Quarters.
Core.
Core.
Their core, spot on, same as we'd work on the flat, okay? So what we're going to do right now is work on the exercise we said with adjustability, but work on them making sure they're always lifting their core and opening their vertebrae. So Caroline, why don't you come onto a circle here in the middle, and we're going to work on that exercise of 5, 5, 5, 5, okay? Happy with counting to 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, well done. Cool, so let's go up into the canter.
No.
Lovely canter. Good. Cool, so we'll stay on the circle. And first we'll just get a feel of the exercise. So working for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now medium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go of the inside rein to check he's still there. Good, now working. Then let go of the inside rein. And then collected. Let go of the inside rein and working. And as you're going through the exercise, Caroline, you know, if it's not 5 exactly, it doesn't matter. It's just a vague 5, 6, 7 strides would be okay. So there, where you let go of him and he suddenly broke to the trot, said he wasn't lifting his core and carrying himself. Yes. So this is a super important exercise for developing confidence when jumping, because you might suddenly want to rock back for a little stride or move him onto a big stride.
Yeah.
But as we said, what part of their body enables them to do that?
That's their spine.
Spine, spot on, lifting their core. So they've got to stay round and soft whilst doing this adjustable work. Good. And keep changing the gears. I'm now seeing a lot of working canter, Caroline.
I
Yeah.
know.
Then into a medium.
1, 2, 3.
And let go. Working. Let go. Collected. More leg. Keep him lifting his tummy. Let go. Working. Keeping lifting his core through the whole exercise. Medium. Medium. Bigger. Bigger, Caroline. Come on. Good. Let go. Working. Let go. Collected.
Oh, we can't do
Okay,
collected.
have a little walk for a second. So straight away in that exercise, and this does come through to our riding, which gear did you find the hardest?
The collected.
The collected, exactly that. So that then would say to us that if we were going to meet a fence on a slightly shorter distance, we're going to find that hard.
Yeah.
If we see a nice brave distance where you went to the medium canter, that was very easy for him,
Yeah.
you're going to find that easy. Now,
Yeah.
to develop confidence when going eventing, we want to be able to go deep, long or normal, yes, okay, and know that our horse is comfortable with that even if we make a mistake.
Yeah.
So that's why exercises like this are super important for developing confidence with jumping, because if you could have a really good collected canter that he can hold for himself that's still round and open in the vertebrae, same with the working and medium, then that gives you confidence to go on any distance in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what could you have done better on that right rein when coming to the collected canter?
Sat up more, made sure there was enough leg.
I think that was it, because
Yeah.
what happened every time when you let go?
Yeah, he just dropped
He broke to
down.
trot,
Yeah.
exactly that. So actually, I don't think it was sitting up more. I think it was supporting him with the leg a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's tricky. He makes me think he's going, but he's not really.
Exactly that,
Yeah.
exactly that. So why don't we have a brief little look on the left rein?
Yeah. Is this our better rein? I think it is.
I think so.
We'll see.
Yes, we'll see, Caroline, yes.
Come on then. No, steady.
It's like I've got the exercise now, Mum. Good.
Steady. No, he keeps lining up the poles.
So what's the part of his body that you're trying to stay active in this exercise that we discussed?
His core.
Core, spot on, to keep the vertebrae open, which enables him to shorten or lengthen, which gives you a skill to create a confidence that you can go on any distance when jumping.
Yep.
Yes? So now go back to the exercise, because I'm seeing a lot of work in canter. I should be able to know what canter you're in from the floor, so that you could let go after each one, remember? Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let go. Working. Now the letting go is super important, because the whole point of this exercise for creating confidence as a rider is we know that our horses can do it without us eventually, so that when our nerves kick in, we have trained our horses so beautifully and so well and so confident in their gears that if we slightly make a mistake, they can take over. Would you agree with that, Caroline?
Yeah.
That's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you'll have his back most of the time, but when you don't, he's got your back, yes? And that's why you've got to train him with the letting go to say, now carry yourself. Fab, Caroline, give him a little breather. Ride him with the leg to the trot.
Good boy.
And forwards to the trot. Forwards. Forwards to the hand. Don't do sloppy transitions. Good. And then forwards to the walk.
Steady.
Lifting his core. Good. So how did you find it on that rein?
It was definitely better on that rein, and he didn't go anywhere when I released.
Totally.
Whereas the other rein, he was like, whoa, let's go.
So the other great thing about releasing is it's our check-in in this exercise. Are they lifting their core and opening up their vertebrae? Because if we let go of the rein, suddenly they surge off and come a little hollow, then we know the back was never nice and open.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can you relate that to having a more confident canter when going into the ring?
Just sort of making sure you've got that feeling of energy coming from behind and into your hand, and try sort of going up the gears and down the gears before the sort of first fence to make sure it's all there.
And the bit that I would say is really important for you to think about, you found the collecting hard. Now, if you wanted to add a stride to a fence, would you do it in the way you just did it then?
Would I do it in the way I just did it?
When you just collected him back for that canter then, with loads of leg there, that's how you should if you went, I need to add a stride, rather than just grabbing the reins.
Yeah, absolutely.
And bringing the hollowness in, okay?
Yeah.
So that's where you've got to have confidence in the gear changes staying soft, so that in the ring, if you go, oh, I want to be a little deep, I can do it by lifting his tummy and drawing him back from my body, not by grabbing the front end and taking the leg off.
Yeah.
Does that make
Poles
sense?
will go down then.
Yeah, well, yeah. Right, Beth, let's have a little look at you on the exercise. So, Beth, we'll start on the right rein in the canter. So you've had the beauty of already watching the exercise, so you're going to do it amazingly, aren't you, Beth? Yes. Good. So again, doesn't matter totally if it's not 5 strides exactly, it's more trying to make it nice and soft over the back, him lifting the tummy. Good. Good. I haven't seen much medium yet, Beth.
There was some.
Yeah. Good, let's see if we can be a little bit braver next time we go to the medium. Good, and now bigger. Bigger. Bigger, and a good jumping gear. Good jumping gear. Good. I'm actually impressed watching this, Beth, yes, but this is where you need to think, same as what I was saying to Caroline, when you want to go down a gear, he has to keep using what part of his body?
Core.
His core, exactly that. So you've got to use more what?
Leg.
Leg, perfect, fab. Beth, let's have a little look at you on the left rein. And as Beth is changing the rein, what this exercise is trying to create good patterns and good confidence in is when people get nervous in the ring that they can't see a distance, what's the part of your body that starts to come off, Beth?
Leg.
Legs, exactly that, yeah. So if we can make it habit that every time we slow down, the leg comes on in the ring, if we do that, say, I don't know, 10,000 times, would that be about right, Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah. 10,000 times it becomes habitual that we want to slow the horse to add a stride, the leg comes on with it, yeah. Good, Beth. You know, for me, building confidence is about building good quality basics and having a really good system that you're confident in. Good. And then let's see a bigger canter, Beth. You're still hiding that one from me. Good, and bigger again. Good, and then to the working. And then the collected, lifting the core. Release the rein out of it. Good, and working. Brilliant, and then have a little breather, but ride a good quality transitions. Okay, so Beth, obviously you know you're on camera today because I haven't seen you ride that well before. That was lovely, really, really nice. So straight away, how could that give you more confidence when going to a jump?
It's making sure I've got my leg on and being confident to have the bigger canter, because that's what I have always struggled with him.
And actually, Beth, that's going to lead us perfectly onto the second part of this session, which is then, once we've got that softness in the canter, can we now find the right size canter to jump from, okay? Which, Beth, is how big? How big is the right size canter in yards?
5 feet, 4 feet.
4, yes, perfect, very good, 4 yards, yeah. The right size canter to go to a jump with, yep. Fab, right, Caroline, let's come on in and discuss what we're going to do for the second half of this session.
Set your sights, take flight,